Hey guys, and welcome to Trainz with me, the Unknown. It's a brand new season. Like last time, it'll be set sometime in the 1960s, which will allow us to run some steam engines and some diesels. There'll be no fixed plan on what exactly we will do. I do have some ideas and different scenes I wish to create, but overall, it's very flexible. Now we start at what will become our main hub train station. There'll be a passenger station here and a goods station, all in one scene. So this area here is going to be very large. There's going to be various iterations here of this train station. But what you see here is what I thought right at the beginning what we would do. There's a couple of tracks and then a platform. A couple of tracks, then platform. Now I did that one day and then I went to bed and I thought, I got up the next morning and I thought, oh yes, it's probably not going to work, is it? So we're going to go through what we did. It's not going to change that much, but by the end of the episode, it will look very different to what it looks now. What I'm doing right this very second is just making sure the spacing here is on for the trains to actually get in. So as you can see, it's going to be very large. That's because I want to run quite a bit of stuff down to it. If you can imagine what we want to have, we're going to have some local services. We're going to have some express trains going off to other places. Down to one angle somewhere, we're going to have a goods station. Again, I don't know how big that's going to be. We're going to make it fairly large, and we want to make things running in and out of it. Some of it running down the main line, some of it just running off to a portal and then coming back in again. So it's sort of, you have the feeling of it all being bustling. So again, right on the station, what we're just doing now is laying some tracks. Now we will be using the invisible station platforms underneath, but there's no point doing that right now. We just want to get the look and get an idea of where we're going to go with it. Now while we're doing this, let's talk about Trainz itself. Now I don't know if you guys have been reading the notes, the dev notes. However, whatever, we are going to be getting a new game coming out later this year. So obviously I'm going to be buying that. The idea is I wanted to try and complete this before that game comes out. Now it was called Trainz Next. That was its working title. It's now going to be called, what's it going to be called? I've written it down somewhere, and that's it. Railroad 2019. So yes, it's aimed more at our American friends rather than the British, because we call it railway. Americans, I think, call it railroad. It comes with what I think is a predetermined route, and that track's busted, isn't it there? One of them is. I'll fix it anyway, because there's going to be various things. And, well, it comes with some big improvements. Now, it was told to me that the grass and the trees and everything are very, very static. Which is true, they don't move in the current game. However, NVIDIA, so I assume this only works if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card, has come up with new add-ons and new programs which work with their cards, and they work with some low cards as well, which creates fluid trees and grass. And and a lot of games will be using this, including the new trains. Now Trainz have implemented it, and I've seen some scenes of the grass waving about, and it can interact with what you're doing as well. So again, it was said that it'd be nice if the grass moved when a train went by. Now I don't know if that's going to be implemented straight away, but the program from NVIDIA, what they've done, drivers, I don't know exactly what it is, will allow this. Now, going back to what we're doing right now, you can see there's a diagonal track. Now, that's not for another station. What that will be at the end is a turntable, and that's where we'll be keeping some of the trains at night times as well, if we ever get to night time. So we'll have some engine sheds and probably a coal bunker. Right now, we're at the other end of the station. Now, what we have to do is get all these tracks down into those. Now, we've got 4 tracks at the end there. So the outer 2, I'm thinking for local trains, we have the platforms either side. The inner 2 would be express trains. Now I'm pondering over at the moment how to do this, and frankly, there are too many tracks there coming out of the station. So a lot of those are going to be deleted very shortly, you're going to see. But this is pretty much day one still. of the recording. So I hadn't come to that conclusion quite yet. I think I was literally sleeping. I was dreaming about this game and how I'm actually going to put this together. But the problem with this right now is that the in track goes to the in, always stays on one side, and the out track always stays on the other side. That's how I've kind of wired it in right now, and it's wrong. It doesn't work. And as much as the idea of having all these tracks was a good one, that you can have one train waiting before they get into a platform, so it doesn't affect another train whilst in the platform, or the other way around, the train in the platform doesn't affect another train coming in. It would be very hard to make this work, I think. So we're going to halve it. We're going to have one track going to two platforms there. Now, what I did here, because this was going to be the end of this first video, I put some covers onto the top. Yeah, a roof. This is kind of what I want to do, but this is not it. It's just to show you how I want to have it, and we have a station build at the end. Now, in a sec, I'm going to slow down. Here we go, slow it down to show you what it would look like. But in a sec, we're going to go on to day 2, after I stopped adjusting it, because there's actually no point for me adjusting it really, it's all going to be deleted in a sec. But it does give you an idea at least of the undercover station, the big station, but here we go, all deleted. And now I start deleting the some of these platforms. So what we do, we have a third track here. Now that's good for steam engines. It won't be so good for the later models, the model with the train either end and the carriages in the middle, because they can just go in and out. But what I did think was that you need to get the train, which is going to be facing the actual main train station, out with leaving the carriages there sometimes. And so the third track in the middle would allow a train to leave, just the train, not the carriages, to leave down that middle track, go to the turntable, to come round and latch on at the end. You'll see what I mean when we actually do it. Something like I did with the freight station in the last series. Now on other lines, so we'll probably do that on more on the smaller trains, more the local trains. But the larger, we'll have a couple of larger express trains which will have a tank engine come and pull the carriages out. Now for there, we have to create some sort of waiting area just in front of the platforms. Now you'll see me do that as well. So we're going to be implementing 3 different ways of using this station. So number 1 is the diesels, which can just go in and out, because we'll probably have a train at the either end. We'll have the little tank engine trains, the smaller trains which will be working the branch lines, which will just, they will unconnect from the carriages, go round to the middle line, go round to the other end of the train, connect back up again, and out they go again. And then we have the larger trains, which a tank engine will come and pull the carriages away from them, which will allow them to go to a turntable, turn around, and the tank engine put the carriages back in, leaves, and then the main train comes on, connects to it, and off it goes again. It's complicated, but it's going to be fun doing. So as you can see, what I'm doing right now, as I keep saying that, is I'm decluttering this and taking half the lines away. So instead of having an in-out line, I'm just having one line going straight to it. I think it probably will work. I hope. And what I'm trying to connect up to is the middle line, right in between the platforms there. And then we just have some points heading off to each individual platform. You'll see what I mean in a second. Now that's actually done, is that diagonal line going to where the turntable is. It's now a bit more free, and it's just those points going to that a little bit easier. Now what you also might notice I've done or are doing is moving that a little bit further down as well. I think it's a little bit too close to the platform. It's that diagonal track, I mean. So this was idea number 2, just have those one line going in and then it divides into 3. And I move that a little bit further, but then I start thinking of what I said, that the larger engines need the carriages to be pulled out on. So on a few of them, on the left-hand side, where we've got more space between the platform and that diagonal line, I will put some waiting areas in. So that's pretty much the final iteration today of this station here. But again, I'm pretty sure it will have to change. We need to keep it quite fluid, because I'm sure it's not going to work out of the box. And there's no point making it look pretty if it doesn't actually work. Now, what I did find is when I was removing some of this, some of those white circles, which are connectors, kind of, they stay there even if you move the track. And that was the game basically saying, I'm going to crash in a moment. And it did. Luckily it was an automatic save which saved me here. You cannot move, that was one of them. So I take the track away, so there's a couple of them there. I take the track away, see there it is, there's the white thing there. And it's still there, there's nothing actually there. But it's still there. Now later on I find another one, I try moving it, and then the game just shuts down and says, nope, don't want to play anymore. As I say, luckily that I didn't lose anything, that there was an automatic save. As soon as I loaded this back up again, it says, do you want to use these changes which you made? And I said yes, and we're back running again, luckily. I'd have been quite annoyed otherwise, I think. Now I do wonder, that diagonal track where those points is quite sharp, whether a large train could actually get round there. But, well, we'll find out. In this game, technically, these trains can get around anything, but we want to make it look sort of semi-realistic. This is why I'm straightening up the track right now. It actually does help. If you use the straightening tool, actually on points, they do clip together a little bit nicer. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking away a load of the points which aren't there anymore. Now I'm still not quite there with my idea yet, what I'm going to do. So this was just a quick way in for that particular train to get into the siding there, so it doesn't affect anything else. There's no actual reason for it to be there. I don't know why I put it in, but it does, I think, help me come up with the idea of having 3 tracks in that area. Here we go, so this is where I start off doing that. I think it's these 3 to the right here, because I think there's just about enough space to put the carriages by themselves, not the train, in this area. So remember, if you're going to have a large train, you want to pull the carriages out, you have to have somewhere in front of the platform really to keep them to let the main train out. But yeah, have to see how this pans out and works. Now, I'd love to have a little tank engine pull the carriages out for all the trains, but can you imagine there's one train in there, it's doing its job, it's putting the carriages out, doing it, then the trigger for another train sets off because another train comes in, and it just leaves those carriages and goes off and does those instead. That could be problematic, so we don't really want that happening. So I might have to have, say, 2 platforms with a tank engine, and each platform has its own tank engine. So in a real scenario, it would have been one tank engine does all, or a couple does any one which is needed on any of their platforms. But we're going to have to specifically, I think, set each tank engine just to do a specific job. It won't look any different, but I think that's probably how we're going to set this up. That was right. Yeah, I take it away completely in the end. That's better. Now I have run some trains down here since, and I will run right at the very end to show you that it actually kind of works. It's a better end than we just doing the build and saying goodbye. There's a couple of clunky junctions, but which will need maybe a little bit of work, but overall they do work okay. Now I think at this end we're probably going to run more diesels and things. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to run where, to be honest with you. I think maybe on the freight we'll run some diesels. I do want to run at least a couple. Now what we're doing here, this is the next section, on and beyond, we're going to need to put an invisible station in. So I've put those markers in and we are now cutting out in between. And then we are using this invisible station. Excuse me. Now I measured out which one it is beforehand, just to make sure it worked. You see there's one to the right there at the moment. Now I've inadvertently given myself another track to the other side there. I didn't have to do that. But we keep it. They'll get connected in. It's not a major problem. Now luckily these stations, they're using the same track as what I'm using, the Bulldog. I think it's Bulldog? Bullhead. It's on the left there. UK Bullhead Wooden. Now I was looking at the actual concrete track. I was wondering when it came in. Now there was actually concrete track from around the Second World War, but it wasn't really widely used until the 1980s. So I've stuck with the Bullhead track. I've downloaded a few different ones, like the Rusty one and Overgrown, so we can use in different areas. But this is just the standard one by now. You can see this is going to be a large station. Now that 4 tracks in the middle there, I might take that down to 3. I'm wondering how to place the roof on here, to be honest with you. We need to find a nice looking canopy. So we can have walls down the side of the building and then a roof on top. Now, I've noticed that some of the canopies don't have legs, so we might use something like that which will allow us to actually place legs where we want them. It needs to be quite wide as it's quite a big station. And I want to use each platform as well. I don't want it not to be used. So even if we run something down to a portal somewhere, it would be nice to actually use each one, I think. Now that I didn't show this track onto the left being added, but I think that's probably where the freight exchange is going to be. Now we're on to the end bit now. We're just going to run something down. See those carriages down the bottom there? That's where we're going to head to. So I'm just manually driving this train right now. Oh yeah, the 3 carriages actually, though. Those larger 3 carriages we're going to go to. Now what I haven't done is put some points at the end of the platform there. You need to actually where the station building is. Need to do that, otherwise that central track is pretty useless. So we'll do that part of the next episode. We'll also start building the freight station next episode and also putting the turntable. The reality is I didn't have to go this far. We could have used that the track running off to the right there, the diagonal track. I don't think we would want to come this far down, otherwise other trains are going to get blocked. I can hear the screenshot being taken. But you can see how it works. Even on using that diagonal track, we can go down one and we can go up onto another platform quite easily there. But we might have to change that diagonal track to make it less acute, the angle. Once again, I've just used the ground texture. I haven't actually talked about it at all yet. I've used something which is similar right now, but we're going to be, just in the other series, I've said that you need to use to order either different colours and mix and match and stuff. We'll be doing that. It was just really, I added this one, single one in to define the area. Now, if you remember on the last season, I said that I don't know exactly where these trains are going to stop. If we aim it for a station, one train will stop in one place, another train will stop somewhere else. So I think what we will be doing when we actually do this is use track markers. As long as the carriages are stopped over the station, it will unload and load. We don't actually have to stop at a station directly. Come on, shut the doors. Now, I think as I mentioned earlier, what we're trying to do is finish this game, this particular route here, before the new game comes out. Then the next route will be on using the next game. Hopefully, the assets which we've got are going to work with the next game, but we'll see. For this one, well, this is pretty much it at the end of the episode, but we are going to do some different places. We're going to have some countryside views, we have some seaside views. We have lots of hilly areas. That's the idea of what I'm going to be going with this right now. And this is obviously a town area. It'll be a town surrounded by this, but I want to make it more, we aim at the track and the trains rather than the scenery. I mean, just the town bits. You'll see what I mean later on. And you also see what I mean about that diagonal track's quite cute, that turning. I'm not sure the engine this side will actually get across there, so we may have to adjust that slightly. But that is pretty much going to be it. In a second it goes black. So that's it for the first episode. I would like to thank everyone for watching. There's going to be many, many more, maybe not every week. But if you did like, please do press the like button. It means more other people will actually see it. And if you subscribe, you'll get notified, and press that ding dong bell thing. It'll even notify you when I actually put another video on. Thanks again, guys. See you next time. Cheers. Bye bye.